Exactly what I'm talking about.
Hey guys, it's Hannah. Hello?
It takes forever to edit. You need to upload this video before May 1st.
May 1st is coming up. College decision day? Okay, so I thought that I would slip this video in right before college decision day. Jesus, who is an incoming freshman, requested this video of just like what to expect and give us like a rundown because a lot of prospective students and incoming freshmen ask me questions and a lot of their concerns are the same. And we're going to go into some details, don't worry. It's not just my perspective. I got the opinions of my Pepperdine classmates as well. I pulled them on my Instagram story. Before I jump in, I just want to say 2 disclaimers. Number 1, take the survey results with a huge grain of salt, like so much salt, because some trolls took the polls and I was like, you don't even go here. And number 2, every campus has its own problems. It doesn't matter what school you're talking about. And we're gonna be talking about both the good and the bad parts of Pepperdine. Okay, so first we're gonna talk about the location and isolation. Number 2, religion. And then number 3, we're going to talk about the social aspects. And there's a lot to uncover there, so I'm just kidding. I don't wanna seem like I'm like attacking Pepperdine, because I'm not, because I love Pepperdine. Pepperdine, sponsor me, please. But just pros and cons out here, you know? Without further ado, let's jump in. I'm excited. Okay, so the most popular question I get asked is about our location. Do you get bored easily? Do you get stir crazy? Apparently the majority of people say they do easily feel stir crazy and bored. So okay, this is what you have to keep in mind when you come here, is that Malibu is a very residential and quiet area. Like, this is where celebrities come to hide away from the chaos in LA. So there's no nightlife here. Things are basically dead by like 8 or 9 p.m. We're about 30 to 45 minutes away from Santa Monica, where the only good Asian food is. And we're about like 45 minutes to over an hour from LA, depending on the traffic. So you definitely need a car, or to find a friend with a car if you're going to like actually get out of Malibu. But we still have things. Like, I don't want to make it seem like we're on some potato farm in Idaho with like, we have to walk 2 hours to get places. Like,
No offense to those who are on potato farms in Idaho.
no, like we have a Ralph's, which is a grocery store like 3 minutes away.
There's some good food places around there too.
We have a Malibu Country Mart, which is the closest thing that we have to a college town. And that's where like Whole Foods is, Chipotle, Starbucks, Sun Life.
And there are a lot of restaurants in and around Malibu that I did not mention here, but they're a little bit farther out from campus and they're not very fit for the college population.
And that's the thing about Malibu, is that it's bougie. Like, it's not meant for a college population. Honestly, it is a random place to put a college campus, but it's a beautiful place. Like, if you're gonna be isolated, Malibu is the perfect place. We're a few minutes away from the beach. We get nature, we get fresh air. It's quiet, it's peaceful. So like, of course, if I could change one thing about Malibu, I would put a college town that's like walkable. I don't feel like suffocated on campus, because especially freshman year, I'd get off campus a lot. Shout out Ellie and Cam for being the chauffeurs. And that leads me to my next question, which is, how easy is it for you to get off campus with a friend who has a car if you don't have one yourself? The majority of people said it is easy. You're gonna have at least 1 or 2 at least like close acquaintances that have a car. Hey boo, if you're going to Target, let me come with you. PR skills, okay? But don't use people for their cars. I've seen that happen so many times here, where people will like expect their friends with cars to take them places. Honey, they are not your Uber driver. Okay, so the second most popular question I get asked is about our spirituality and religion. Like, if I'm not religious, or if I'm not exactly Christian, like, how uncomfortable am I gonna feel? So I ask people how strongly they feel that the student body of Pepperdine pressures people to be Christian or live a Christian lifestyle. The majority said that it's not that strong, while 40% said that it's kind of a lot. There are definitely groups of very like faithful and religious students, but I feel like for the majority of us, even though we're religious, we're still like college students, and we're still like having fun, and I feel like a lot of people just chill about it. Like, they believe in what they believe, but they're not going to pressure you or make you feel uncomfortable if you don't agree with them.
But I'm definitely biased because I'm Christian, so like I don't even notice it that much, or I don't mind it at all when people talk about God or faith in daily conversation sometimes. So if you're not Christian, that's gonna be something that you probably might be like more surprised about. Like you'll notice it more.
But then of course, you know, those are the students. The administration is a different deal. We have rules like we have to take 3 religion GEs. You have the 14 combo credits that you should complete every semester. You have gender rules, like you're not supposed to have the opposite sex over to your dorm after 1 a.m., especially at freshman housing. And we're a dry campus. But honestly, after you leave freshman housing especially, you're fine. Like your RAs are probably not gonna check on you, and even a lot of freshman RAs literally don't care. Like there are plenty of people who had the opposite sex over like the whole night. Like the freshman RAs sometimes just, they don't get there. But of course, like don't be dumb, and if you live across from your RA, don't like smoke weed in your room. My RA this year, I'm a sophomore, she came over to our room and she was like, "Are you high?" And I was like, "No." She was like, "I smelled weed on you in the elevator." I was like, "It wasn't me, honey." Now let's jump into the social aspects. Because there's so much to uncover here, I'm going to give you the good news first. So just some background, we are a very small school. We almost have like 4,000 people in our undergraduate program. And because of our size, that does impact our community and like the dynamic. So the good news is you're probably gonna make at least 1 or 2 very close friends your freshman year. For the question of how open and friendly our overall student body is, we got a pretty good answer from a scale of people are very rude and closed off to very friendly and open. Most people said that we're pretty friendly and open. I would totally agree with that. I think people are good at being nice and welcoming and friendly. I also asked people to describe our vibe. Chill was a very popular answer. Pretty vibey, supportive and kind, relaxed, close-knit, active and involved. I got a lot of busy. Like people are busy but they might seem relaxed on the outside. I totally think that's just like a life thing. Like we're not always going to show how overwhelmed we are. I got skinny white rich kids. My friend said it has a vibe rating of 7 out of 10 with the potential of an 8. I feel that. Our vibe is like a 7 out of 10, but it definitely has the potential to be an 8 or a 9. It's just that there are certain things that need to be improved. So this is where we're gonna get into it, okay? Everyone has the same front, so a lot less individuality than you would see at other colleges. And I got people can come off as really cliquey, but I think that most people aren't actually so set in their groups. And I 100% agree with this. You have to know that any smaller school is going to be much more prone to like cliquiness. However, I think that actually a lot of people are floaters or like are open to being floaters. And what I mean by that is like a lot of people can like float in between other groups of friends. Some students are genuinely very exclusive, but some people can come off that way, but actually they're totally chill and are so down to meet new people and make new friends. Don't listen to these presumptions instantly and just take it as a truth. I'm totally guilty of doing this, and sometimes I'll like walk into a room and have an opportunity to introduce myself, but I just don't because I'm listening to my presumptions and I'm like, oh, they're not gonna be interested, I'm fine, I'm just not gonna talk to them. That's so sad because imagine how many conversations and friendships could have been sparked by not listening to those presumptions and taking it upon yourself and just being like, I'm just gonna try anyway. And the worst thing that could happen is like, oh, they're not interested. Oh well. The best thing that could happen is that you could end up with a really good conversation and even a new friend.
Okay, that was a lot. Okay, on to the next answer now.
I got the answer superficially welcoming. I can totally see how people can come off as superficially welcoming because even though they're really good at like being nice and polite, and you might even be like buddy-buddy with someone as an acquaintance, it might be harder for you guys to get closer on a deeper level. I don't think this is a Pepperdine specific problem at all. I just think that the older you get naturally throughout college and afterwards especially too, your circle of close friends are probably going to shrink while the amount of acquaintances and connections and even close acquaintances that you have get bigger. My friend elaborated that Pepperdine definitely has, because Pepperdine is 80% white and a lot of these people are more traditionally attractive, she feels like there's room for social hierarchies and like cliques and stuff like that to form. That sucks because we're not in Mean Girls, we're not in middle school, we're not in high school, we're in college. Like this shouldn't be a thing. Because of our size and our vibe that we're in Malibu especially, like we're in Southern California where social media presence and personal branding is kind of a bigger thing here. It's definitely a concern. And this is something that I really had to get used to because coming from upstate New York where Instagram and social media just like they're big, but they're not so carefully curated. When I came here and people were actually like putting so much thought into thinking about like follower ratio, I have to make sure that my feed is like super personal and aesthetic and matches my brand. And I was like, brand?
It's not like everyone at Pepperdine is like this, for sure not. There's a healthy way, I think, to grow your personal brand and worry about what people think of you. And then there's an unhealthy way to do that. So some people do it really healthily and some people don't. So it's just, we have a mix.
We don't have anonymity. What is it called?
Anonymity.
We don't really have that here because, again, everyone knows everyone. So it's like if something is said about you or a rumor or drama happens, it's going to be spread everywhere. So people very much care about keeping like a good brand and reputation for themselves. And sometimes not having anonymity is good, and it can be a really big pro of a small school. Is like when I walk to class, I see a lot of my friends and acquaintances, and it's really nice to be able to see them sometimes. Other times, girl, I don't want to see no one. And sometimes you just want to make a beeline for your dorm and go take a nap, and then on the way you meet like 20 people. Again, Pepperdine PR skills. Literally, before Pepperdine, I would never say things like, hey sweet, hey love, hey cutie.
I'm exposing myself.
And like I said, because drama spreads faster here, I asked people how they feel about the statement. There is a lot of drama and fakeness at Pep. This is like almost a 50-50 answer, but the majority of people said yes, they agree with the statement. Freshman year, I came across more drama than I had in high school. To be fair, I didn't have a very dramatic or problematic high school experience, but still, I expected there to be even less drama at college, but that's just not the case here. But guys, I know so much information about other people that I have never talked to before. Not because I ask for the information, but because things just circle around, which I think is why for the question I put Pepperdine is too small. 57% said that they like the size, but 43% said that they wish it was bigger. I'm gonna go on this little tangent to partying. So Pepperdine is not a party school. I talked about this in part 1 also. I asked my Pepperdine classmates, if you want to party, is it usually easy to find parties and people to party with? This is basically a 50-50 answer, but Pepperdine parties just are not fun. Either you show up and everyone and their mothers are there, so there's literally no room to dance or even walk, or you'll show up and there'll be like 3 people there. Rough. Okay, and finally, the last question I asked people was, what is one thing you would change about Pepperdine if you could? A lot of people said sports, like they would want a bigger sports presence. And a lot of people talked about the GEs. So I did not know this before coming here, but Pepperdine has an insane amount of GEs because we are a religious and a liberal arts school. You're gonna take so many history classes here. You're gonna take 3 religions, you have to take 3 humanities, you have to take Western civilization, literature, fine arts, as well as some other things that I'm forgetting. But yeah, there are a lot of GEs. But overall, people are happy with their Pepperdine experience. 92% said that they are overall very happy with their experience so far, while 8% said no. At every school, you're gonna find people who think that the pros outweigh the cons, and some people think that the cons outweigh the pros. Like, that's just every school. And I just want to say, whatever college you pick, good luck and trust yourself. I'm going to make more videos about important factors to take into account when you're choosing colleges. You're going to do so well. I trust that you're going to thrive. So yes, have an amazing rest of your day, and I'm looking forward to May 1st. I'll see you guys next time for another video. Bye!